back into First Take. Let's head out to the Western Conference where the Spurs are on the heels of the defending champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder. San Antonio is second in the West and only 3 games behind OKC in the standings. The Spurs are also on a 6-game win streak coming out of the All-Star break. Right. Wemby averaging about 24 points per game, 11 rebounds, and leads the league in blocks. However, Stephen A., I'll start with you. How far can Wemby take this Spurs team?
Well, before I answer that question, I just want to make sure we guarding, licking our lips too much on national television.
You know what?
I mean, I'm just asking.
You know what?
I'm asking that Iman. Iman looking at us like we crazy. Yo, Iman, his girl texted him during the commercial was like, "You licking your lips too damn much." That's what she said to him. That's why I'm just trolling him.
He said, "Y'all acting light skin."
His girl was getting on him, so I'm just making sure that you all right though. You all right though. You need some chapstick.
Vinny, I'm your friend. Vinny, I wouldn't even gonna say nothing. I was gonna let you go.
Iman, I couldn't pass it up. I had to get him. Here's the deal, y'all.
You need enemies when you got Stephen A. Smith. Come on.
You know, it's too good to pass up. I'm sorry. Here's the deal, man. Wemby, I'm going to say conference finals as the answer to this question. I think your experience or lack thereof, Iman, comes back to bite you the deeper you go into the playoffs. I think you can get away with it in the first round. I think you might be able to pull it off if you're great enough, which I believe Wemby is, in the second round. Where it gets interesting is when you a series away from the finals. Chances are you're going to go up against somebody that's been there before.
Yeah.
And even though we saw an Oklahoma City team just win the world championship that didn't necessarily have that experience, I'm still compelled to look at the San Antonio Spurs and say, I love their makeup. I love their moxie. I love Wemby. I love Castle. I love Harper. I love these cats, right? And Harrison Barnes being on there obviously is an experienced element. But I'm just of the mindset that when I look at them, and I think about Oklahoma City and what they bring. I know they've beaten 4 out of 5 times this year, but that's the regular season. That ain't the playoffs. I'm thinking about Denver with Jokic, and I'm thinking about the fact that even though they've had some injuries, they retooled in terms of getting a bit younger, right, and getting a bit more depth. I'm looking at stuff like that, and I'm saying, then I think about Houston. You can start 4 dudes 6'11", and you got a number 1 option in KD. Even with Wemby, ain't no answer for KD. KD gonna get you to 25 to 30. He gonna do that. So I'm just of the mindset they're good enough to get to the conference finals, but they'll run into one of those teams that will derail a trip to the finals this year. That's where I'm at with San Antonio.
He's talking about Houston. Now, I like Houston. But tell me who Houston's point guard is.
No.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
I would say this to you. If Fred VanVleet did not, because I said at the beginning of the season, if Fred VanVleet did not get hurt, I would have picked Houston to win it all. That's how big of a loss not having the point guard.
Right.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that because of what they have, because of who they have. But that doesn't mean they can't win in the playoffs against a young, inexperienced team.
Okay, my thing with San Antonio is this. It's largely on the experience part. Top 10 offense, top 10 defense. He's like Jason Voorhees, right? You know, Jason, like you be running, and then next thing you know, you turn around and he's right in your face.
Yeah.
He's insane in that way. And you can see the gravity that he plays with. You don't even go towards the rim when he's there. That helps in the playoff situation.
Okay.
For me, though, Stephen A., it's the playoff bracket.
Okay.
If you're the 2nd seed, and I don't think they're going to catch Oklahoma City for the top seed. No. You're the 2nd seed. You're playing Denver in round 2. And if we're assuming that Jokic is healthy, and we're assuming that Aaron Gordon is back, and then you got Peyton Watson and Cam Johnson and Tim Hardaway on the minimum, they are the most complete team. To me, Denver is the most complete team in the NBA. So while I think and believe that San Antonio can get through a second playoff series, if that's the matchup, I got a problem there. Because Jokic, hey, you can be as tall as you want to be. You can be as long as you want to be.
Double machine.
That fat man ain't being bothered by none of your length. All right?
He's amazing because he can't jump onto a curb. And you can't stop him. And you can't stop him. It's unbelievable.
He's been that size his whole life.
Yeah.
You're going to say, Jokic ain't athletic enough. He ain't never been athletic. You ain't took something away from him.
But he going to give you a triple-double. Don't matter.
He going to give you, and to me, they are Denver. Denver is the team that last year looked at the playoffs and said, man, if we were healthy, we would have taken out Oklahoma City in round 2. Aaron Gordon was hurt. Michael Porter Jr. was hurt. They got some injury problems this year, but they are a championship team that is built to win a championship this season. We just don't talk about them enough. Maybe that's a fault of ours.
Yeah, Iman, how far can this Spurs team go?
I think I'm going to have to go with Stephen A on this one. I would expect their ceiling to be the Western Conference Finals, and the reason that I have them being an exit either that round before or the Western Conference is because of the matchups that they're talking about. When we start talking about the playoffs, you're talking about 4 games that you have to win. This is not regular season where you have to adjust your game one night and now you're playing this 8-footer that you got to deal with, and now you got to change everything up. They know what they're going into. They know what they're going to have to deal with. I'm sure the focal point of the playoffs on the attack early is going to be to get that guy his first 2 fouls, attack him at the rim, challenge him. Let's see how good he is defensively, because when you start talking about the matchups, if it's him on the bench and you can make up for a nice little lead, that's going to be the strategy. So I just expect a little playoff veteran move by the rest of the league to say, hey, man, whether you're tall or not, you still got 6 fouls. Whether you're good or not, you guys can only play with 1 basketball. When you start honing in on these things and you start talking about the relationship to Jokic and what he can do, Jokic is a triple threat. Jokic can shoot it, drive it. He's a willing passer. He's leading the league in assists. You're talking about somebody that can do production, and that matches up with what Wemby goes out there and does on a night-to-night. It's just the shot blocking changes a little bit. But you all know that in the playoffs, the three-point shooting changes a little bit. Guys don't miss that corner 3 anymore. All those rotations that happen, the Spurs have to be really good to respond and trade baskets with the Western Conference.
But I wonder, the rigors of the playoffs, not having gone through it before, will Victor's body hold up? We know that he's a concern for him. It's not like a scare, but I'm just curious, playing every other night, going through that for 2 rounds and then to a third.
Yeah.
You can get through it through 2 rounds. A third round to me might be a little tough, once again, if you are a year ahead of schedule, and I think San Antonio is a year ahead of schedule.
Well,
Victor isn't, but I think the Spurs are.
Well, to me, worry about the injuries when they happen. You know, if the man ain't he ain't hurt right now, and he doesn't have chronic debilitating injuries, then I'm going to assume he's going to be ready. But I'm looking at the other cats. You got, I mean, when I think about Vassell and Castle and Barnes and Keldon Johnson, I'm looking at all of these cats. Harper, of course. I'm just looking at these cats, and I'm saying to myself, they could make some noise.
Can they shoot well enough?
Well, again, if your defense is elite, you can make up for what you're lacking defensively. Because, again, if you got cats that's scared to go to the rim and you turn them into perimeter shooters, this ain't Golden State with Steph and Clay and KD. Most teams can't shoot like that. They got to come to the hole and get a high percentage shots in order to make something happen. Why do we look at the Los Angeles Lakers and really, really look at them as the Spurs as being a nightmarish matchup for them? Because LeBron's not a shooter. He can shoot, but he's not a shooter. Luka can shoot, but he's not a shooter. Austin Reeves can shoot, but he's not a shooter. And the Lakers are allergic to hitting perimeter shots when they're open. They actually hit more contested perimeter shots than they do when they're open, which is what drives J.J. Redick crazy. So look at that. That's why you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, you're like, because when you can't make open perimeter shots, they ain't quite Ben Simmons. But in the same breath, it's like, damn, when all you got to do is run to the paint area and you daring them to shoot, that's a problem.
How's Ben Simmons catching the straight?
I'm about to say, look, the Lakers catching the straight, Ben Simmons catching the straight.
I don't think the
Simmons
Lakers
catching a lot of strays right now.
I don't think the Lakers are catching strays. I'm just pointing out that they got trouble shooting perimeter shots. On this show, as long as First Take is in existence, Ben Simmons will catch strays.
Oh.
We have never, ever seen. Let me tell you something right now. I ain't apologizing for it to a damn soul. There is no bigger thief in the history of the NBA than that man. You understand? You talk about a dude that would not shoot the damn basketball. That is the biggest thief. And if Ben Simmons runs near a basketball arena, he should be arrested. That's how bad it was. Okay? Now you can say anything you want to. You can say anything you want to. Now, if the man walked away from the game, that would be different. but that man made sure his check cleared twice a month in the NBA. He went to the bank account. You so traumatized that you can't shoot, but you wasn't traumatized to go to TD or Wells Fargo or some place like that to make sure your money was in that bank account while you refused to shoot the basketball. Carmelo Anthony, old-time play. Carmelo Anthony is guarding Ben Simmons, and then you just saw a light flash in his head. What the hell am I doing? Turned around, turned his back, ran into the paint about 10 feet away from Ben Simmons because he said, what the hell am I guarding him out there for? He ain't going to shoot. Sure enough, it was the truth. So, again, I understand what y'all are saying. You understand? But as I told them before, I'll tell you again, on this show, when you talk about shade, Ben Simmons going to always get it. Always get it until that man show up and shoot. If he went on a basketball court and shot 0 for 10 from three-point range, I would applaud it because at least he attempted it.
You know
this
what?
man wouldn't even attempt shots. I'd applaud him for attempting it.
I mean, how did we get here?
I know. I'm going to leave it right here because
Well, you asked. I wasn't going there. You asked.
He catches strays. Everybody catches strays.
I'm just going to call it what it is.
Oh, my goodness. Let's take a break here, guys.
Iman lowered his head. Vinny lowered his head. They didn't say I was lying.
Everybody
they didn't say I was lying.
Relax.
Everybody got quiet.
You gotta relax,
Everybody got quiet. Let's take a break.
I am relaxed.
Here.
I'm very relaxed.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Keep them down, try to wear, pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's 88 over here,